God is not the author of confusion. He is not neutral about chaos, and he does not bless disorder masquerade as righteousness. When lawlessness is defended in the name of compassion and anarchy is rebranded as justice, the people of God must speak, not emotionally, not politically, but biblically. Today we are confronting godly order versus anarchy. And what we are witnessing right now in our nation is anarchy. Hello, family. Welcome back to Family Still Matters. I'm Deborah. This channel exists to speak truth with clarity, conviction, and accountability, particularly in moments where silence is easier than discernment and restraint is required more than reaction. I want you to understand something from the very beginning. What we are talking about today directly affects your safety, your family, your children, and your spiritual covering. This is not commentary for entertainment. This is discernment for protection. You must trust, you trust me, and I honor that trust before God. That is why I did not speak on this topic immediately. I want you to grab something essential before anything else. This conversation will touch on politics, law enforcement, protests, death, and scripture. And I will refuse to enter that space flippantly. I will not mislead you, misdirect you, or allow emotion to override my integrity. I will not tell you how to vote. I will not demand agreement. What I will do is help you avoid confusion, avoid harm, and avoid standing on the wrong side of God while thinking you are doing right. I prayed, I watched, I waited, and now I am speaking responsibly. This message is for believers who want clarity instead of chaos and truth instead of narratives. It is not for those who have already decided their political side, no matter what, whose minds are closed before truth is examined. If you stay, I ask you to give me the grace to hear the full argument, because Scripture teaches us that wisdom listens before it judges. Across our nation, particularly in Minnesota, we are witnessing violence and unlawful protests against ICE agents who are carrying out their federally mandated duties under the authority of the President of the United States, who is President Donald Trump. These demonstrations have gone far beyond peaceful protests. Businesses are closing, schools are disrupted, roads are blocked, federal vehicles are damaged, federal weapons are being stolen. And now, even more disturbingly, the governor is encouraging children through schools to stand on the front lines of this unrest. This is outrageous. Our children are not political tools. They are not protest shields. They are to be protected. When leadership begins pulling children into lawlessness, that is not activism, that is recklessness. And here is why this matters to you. Because chaos will never stay contained. It always reaches homes, families, jobs, churches, and communities. And it already has begun. In the midst of this unrest, a woman named Renee Good lost her life. She was a human being. She had a partner, she had a child, and her life mattered. I pray for her family. I pray for her surviving partner. And I pray for that child who will grow up without his mother. But compassion does not cancel truth. Renee placed herself in an unlawful, dangerous situation, and that decision also placed her family in harm's way. This is not said to shame. It is said to warn. According to the known facts, she was encouraged to advance toward the officers with the vehicle by her partner. The officer repeatedly cried out for her to comply, and she repeatedly refused. The officer was performing his lawful duty, and he was acting in self-defense. A vehicle in that context is a deadly weapon. You cannot provoke law authority, weaponize your actions, and then demand immunity and protection from consequences, even if they're fatal and deadly consequences. Once you step outside the law, you step out from under protection. This is not a black issue. This is not a Hispanic issue. This is not an Asian issue. This is not a cultural issue. This is not a Republican versus Democrat. This is about order versus anarchy. And the benefit of understanding that is this: you are no longer emotionally manipulated or divided. You can stand firmly, peacefully, and lawfully without fear or confusion. Do not rely on curated media narratives. By that I mean stories that are selectively framed, selectively edited, and presented to provoke emotion or allegiance rather than to tell the full truth. You are being shown what they want you to see, the way they want you to see it. I will leave a link to Crystal Beyond Labels, who has documented what is actually happening on the ground. Watch it for yourself. Don't let no one interpret it for you. I am not calling you into the streets. I'm calling you into wisdom and influence. Do your part. Write letters. Call your governor. Call your mayor. Call local law enforcement leadership. Tell them you support cooperation with the federal government. Tell them you reject chaos and obstruction. This is how you protect your family, protect your community, and use your voice without risking your life. Christians are a major voting bloc. Let them know your stance calmly, lawfully, firmly. You cannot provoke confrontation and pray for protection in the same breath. You cannot endanger your household and expect covering while defying order. And you cannot bombard and break into houses of worship and protest and then act shocked when there is pushback or lawful retaliation. Think about your children. Think about who bears the cost if something happens to you. That's not harsh. This is protective. Romans 13:2 tells us, whoever resists authority resists what God has appointed. This is not about liking anyone. This is about standing where God stands. Because family still matters and God's order will always matter. May God richly bless you. Thank you for listening.